so it doesn't get down by the foot pedals there. There we go. And I'm going to go ahead and buckle in. Well, it's a good chance this thing's going to fly fine because your dad just flew it.
Good to hear.
Yeah, so put that microphone right up close.
How's that?
That's much better.
Perfect.
Cool. Let's go ahead and knock out our pre-takeoff checklist here on the ramp area. Go ahead and put your feet on those pedals, grab the stick. We're going to use the word, oops, hold on a sec. 1, 2.
Gotcha.
Oh, there we go. We're going to use the word cigar.
All right.
As an acronym, because if you bring a checklist with you in this thing, you're not going to have it long. It's going to blow away. And so the word cigar is nice because it's kind of a mental checklist. Anytime you fly, you always, or do maintenance for that matter, you always use a checklist because if you forget something, it could be fatal.
Right.
C means controls, and so what we want to do is we want to make sure the controls work. So move that stick left and right, front to back, and you're looking out there at the wings, making sure they're moving, the ailerons are moving, elevators moving. Check your rudder pedals, make sure they're moving. Does everything feel okay?
Yeah, I got a mirror, don't I?
Yep.
Perfect.
Good, we'll call it good. I is for instruments. Look at your altimeter upper left. You're up there, I'm back here. We'll make sure our instruments are identical. Your altimeter is set on 800 feet, as is mine. Airspeed straight up at 0.
Yep.
The little black ball is out to the left, and the reason for that is we did like a little donut when we came in here.
Gotcha.
So that'll work just fine once we actually start moving forward. Your upper right-hand instrument tells you when you're going up or down.
Okay.
So like that 5 on the top side of 0, if we kept it there for a minute, theoretically we'd be 500 feet higher in 60 seconds.
Okay.
Conversely, down below, 500 down below, the 0.5 is 500 feet descent. Tachometer, bottom left, oil pressure, oil temperature, all look normal. I'm going to take care of the engine for you here today.
Okay.
CIG, gas. I just put 30 gallons of fuel in it.
Perfect.
It's 3 times 6, $180, $6 a gallon.
Ooh.
That hurt, I know.
Yes.
But can't fly without it. So we have plenty of fuel for today's flight. Inside the cockpit on the left-hand side, there's a little red ball with the letter M.
Yep.
Mixture control, that's all the way forward. And then right ahead of that, there's a little red arrow that says on or off.
Yep.
That's your fuel valve.
Leave it over there.
Yeah, we'll leave it on, or it's going to be a really short flight. We have our elevator trim tab. That's for A is accessories underneath the throttle on the left-hand side. Don't really worry about that. I got that for you. And then the last letter we have is R, and that's for run-up, and we'll check the engine out by the runway.
All right.
So at this point, the airplane is just about ready to taxi. But before doing so, we have to listen to a radio frequency. And the tower changes this, what's recorded on here every hour, and it gives us the updated weather conditions and airport conditions that we have to be aware of to use this airport. So you're going to be able to hear this as well.
Variable 5, visibility 10, feeling 2,500 broken, 4,500 broken, temperature 27, dew point 18, altimeter 2988. Visual approach in use, arriving in departing runway 17. Advise you have information Delta.
So they call it Delta. So when we call them, we have to tell them we have runway Delta.
Weather, wind, variable 5, visibility 10.
All right, I've heard it all. So for now, yeah, just have your feet on the floorboards, not the pedals.
Okay, what about the stick?
You can hold the stick, that's fine. Because the reason I have you do that is the next flight lesson, I'm going to have you on the pedals, taxiing this thing. I'm actually going to have you do the takeoff. This time, we're going to try and keep you off the brakes on the ground for now.
All right.
So let me call the ground controller.
Flight report 150, cross runway 23.
Kalamazoo ground, Stearman 1, we're at the Air Zoo with Delta ready to taxi 17 Foxtrot.
Stearman 1, comes ground runway 17 at Foxtrot, taxi via Bravo.
17 Foxtrot on Bravo for Stearman 1. Cool. So looking straight ahead, you're going to see nothing. So imagine you're at a naval base and there's 100 Stearmans there and you have no radio. So no one's telling you where to go. And so you start taxiing out, and you're not paying attention. You're going to take out the guy right ahead of you.
All right, on.
So the idea is you have to do what we call S-turns. You go a little bit to the right. You hang your head out the left-hand side. Just like that, perfect. You gently bring it back to the left, and then you hang out your head out the right-hand side. When you taxi this airplane here, you should never be in a hurry.
All right.
Because if you're in a hurry, that's when you're going to hit something. You can see on the sides of the runway here, the taxiway, there's these big lights. And they're certainly a hazard because they're about 2 feet off the ground.
Yep.
And if you hit one, you're going to bust up the wheel. You might rip the fabric on the wing, maybe hit the propeller. That's funny. I know what you want me to say because I watched the video. That's classic. You're the. That's funny. Now you're going to get a kick out of this. This is cool.
I'll bet, man.
All right. So the tower told us to taxi right here. This is runway 1735. This is their main runway. The wind is light variable at 5 knots, he said. Now to cross that little line up there, we have to have permission to do so.
Okay.
But we're not quite ready to go. We actually have to check the engine to make sure the engine's right. So let me bring the stick all the way back to your lab. There you go. We'll bring the power on up. Bottom left instrument is your tachometer. There's about 1,500 RPM. I'm going to switch from both magnetos to left. So we lost 100 RPM, which is normal. If it was backfiring or something, that would tell us that the spark plug is fouled. We're good there. We'll go over to right mag. Same thing. So the engine's fine. Michael, you ready?
I am.
All right, so here's the drill. So if I have the airplane. You can let go of the stick.
Okay.
Just have your feet on the floor. But, oh, darn, this guy's going. Is he taking off? He is.
He's bigger than we are anyway.
Yeah, they're going to make us wait. Because of the turbulence that comes off that thing, they make us wait 3 minutes.
Gotcha.
Because the last thing you want to get in is his wing turbulence.
It sticks around for that long?
3 minutes. If they had smoke on the wingtips, there'd be these little, they're almost like tornadoes. They're going this way. And so they come down and they go away. And you obviously can't see them, but if we took off and we got into that thing, it could actually roll us upside down. Because you imagine flying in all this air and it's doing that, you know, it's making us roll. So I set my timer here. So if I called them right now, he would tell us to wait 3 minutes for wake turbulence. So I don't need to call him. I'm actually surprised that they let him out with this guy so close.
Yeah, he was right in behind him.
And that wake turbulence, it doesn't start happening until the airplane starts to fly. So like when he's coming down here, there's no wake turbulence.
Oh, just for
it's
like
just all and then when the wings start producing lift, that's when that happens.
Gotcha.
And that only happens when you rotate. So what we'll do is for takeoff, I'm going to do that for you. Once we get maybe to the end of the runway, I'll have you come on the controls with me. 2 words of advice. 1, when you grab the stick, just relax. Just have a loose grip, you know, and I think you will. And the other thing is if you look outside the airplane the majority of the time, you're going to do great. Okay. If you want to stare at instruments, we should be in that plane right there because it has like 30 things to look at.
All right.
You know, we're guys, we like messing with dials and stuff, and that's kind of cool, but this, we don't have much to look at here. 1 minute and 45 seconds.
All right.
So another minute to go, and then I'll give him a call. So you like that new standard flight, huh?
Yeah, that was awesome, man. I had a really good time. I got some pretty good video.
Good.
It's I mean, it's cool. It's cool to have the video, but it's all. I mean, I kind of want to do it again to just kick back and
relax.
Really take it in, you know.
Well, that is the new standard is a great experience. This is off the chart. I mean, because you're going to fly this, and it's cool to remember. This is not a replica. This is not something we built in the garage, you know, to make it look like. This thing was built in 1942. I mean, this thing is a real, you know, war veterans flew this airplane back then when it was new. So, and it's cool because if you're feeling maybe a little uncomfortable, all those guys before you that flew it
Right.
felt the exact same
Right.
way. Like, oh my God, I'm going to fly this thing.
How many times would they take them up in this before they just said, all right, you're good to go?
8 to 12 hours.
Wow.
And you say that's not very long. After about 15 minutes, I'll
Yeah.
ask you, and you're like, oh, I could definitely do this in 8 hours.
Gotcha.
All right, I'm going to give this guy a call.
Okay.
Kalamazoo Tower, Stearman 1 ready to go at Foxtrot 17.
Stearman 1, Kalamazoo Tower, left turnout approved, runway 17 at Foxtrot cleared for takeoff. Caution weight turbulence from the regional jet that departed 3 minutes ago.
Clear for takeoff, left turnout, Stearman 1. All right, so here's the deal on this takeoff. The idea is we look straight ahead. Basically, on the top of the instrument panel, you have that compass that you really can't read.
Yep.
So we're going to head on out here. There's a little white line. Make sure we're going down the middle of the runway right about here. We look straight ahead, focus on infinity. You can see where the runway ends and the grass begins. That's about straight there. We're going to keep the stick in neutral right about where it's at. We gently bring the power on in. And away we go. So we just have to keep it going straight. When there's no wind, it's not a big deal. It's ready to fly right now. We just gently bring the nose up and away we go. So it's interesting as you're flying an airplane right now, right? We're going, our airspeed's about 80 miles an hour.
That's nuts.
Yeah, it's very slow. And when you're learning how to fly, you want it to be slow. You know, think about a NASCAR guy. You don't want to say, all right, go 200 miles an hour and take it left. Well, the guy's like, but I just started. I just got my driver's license. All right, go ahead and put your feet on the pedals down there and grab that stick with your right hand.
All right.
All right, so the idea here is we want to maintain about 75 miles an hour on the climb up, and that's about what you got now. The first thing we're going to do is a left-hand turn.
Okay.
So what I want you to do is just gently ease the stick to the left. Not too steep. Good. Stick back to neutral. Now look at that little black ball.
Yep.
See how that ball's in the middle? You don't have to use any left rudder. Let's go ahead and roll the wings back to level. So look outside at the horizon. Don't worry about those instruments. And ease this stick forward a little bit for me. Forward, forward, forward. There you go. We have to maintain our speed or it's going to stall. We don't want to stall it down this low to the ground. Okay, let's try a right-hand turn.
Right.
We're looking for a shallow turn, so a shallow angle of bank, 10 degrees. Good, that's about 20-degree angle of bank there. Now look at that little black ball on your panel.
Yep.
See how that ball's out to the right a little bit where it was? Push forward on that pedal, the right pedal, and see how that ball comes back to the middle. There you go. Remember, we're trying to turn against the torque.
Okay.
Good. Let's roll the wings back to level. Let's try a shallow turn to your left. Same deal, about 20-degree angle of bank turn.
3 Delta, inform verify you have information, Delta.
You see this road right here?
Yep.
This road is north and south. Keep it going to your left. I want you to head to the north. And then we'll roll the wings to level.
3 Delta, you inform verify you have information, Delta.
Good. Now, there's a road right down below you off your right wing. That's east and west. Let's make a shallow turn to your right. Let's go to the east. So remember, right aileron, a little right rudder, and you want to gently bring the nose up slightly in a turn. Good. And Michael, if you look at me in the mirror,
Yep.
you got this. Good. And then we'll roll the wings to level. Let's try another shallow turn to your left. We'll go back to the north. So it's kind of like baby steps. You know, we're learning how to turn this thing before we go into our more extreme things.
And our compassion 6 Delta confirm we will be ready
Good.
when we get down here at the end.
Let's make that a right-hand turn.
63 Delta, inform Kalamazoo Tower. So that's a 140 runway 17 cleared for takeoff. And what's the identifier for
Just follow that road.
I'll put in the system there, but that's how you refer to it.
I think it just goes in the remarks section now. It's only lifeguard if the individual
Good. Perfect.
to see them not, but they're even calling them
So you can see that the controls are pretty sensitive.
It's called medical.
Right.
Yeah.
Very sensitive.
And it takes a couple of minutes to kind of get used to that. Let's make one more shallow turn to your left.
Here's left turn 140 and up to 3,000, we're clear to go.
And just lower that nose a little tiny. There you go.
Whoa.
And then we're heading to the north. All right, now, if you look at your upper left-hand instrument, you're going to see that right now we're at about, what, 1,800 feet?
Yep.
And we started off on the ground at 800 feet above sea level, so basically at this point right now, we are 1,000 feet above the ground, and that's plenty high. All right, so what I want you to do is keep in mind that those wires that are right ahead of the windscreen, directly ahead of you in a big V, those wires are at a 45-degree angle to the horizon.
Okay.
So what I want you to do now, we're not going to go to 45 yet, we're going to do a 30-degree angle of bank turn. Let's try one of those to the right. So you look out there at the horizon, that's level 10, 20, 30, good. Hold it right there. We're going to make a 180-degree change of direction. You can see which way we're going by looking down here at the ground. Don't let it get too steep. That's 90 degrees. Good, there's a road right underneath you. That's 180 degrees, good. Now, let's try one of those. So we'll roll the wings to level and lower that nose a little bit. Here's how you know when you're going level or not, is if you look out here, see your horizon over here?
Yeah.
Like right now, you can see we're kind of climbing a little bit. So lower the nose until our wings are parallel with right about here someplace. Good. All right, let's try one of those turns to your left. Same thing. 30-degree angle bank turn to your left. 180-degree change of direction. 10, 20, 30. Good. Stick to neutral. Around you go. That's 90 degrees. That's 180 degrees. Great job. Cool.
Passenger Delta uniform, contact.
You feeling okay?
Yeah, I'm all right.
All right. Let's go a little steeper. Focus in right ahead of you now at those wires. Those wires are 45 degrees. Let's do a 360-degree turn. Let's go to your left first. That's always the easier way to go. But I want you to put that left wire parallel with the horizon and a little bit above the horizon, and that'll be a level turn in the sky. Parallel and a little above. When I say a little, maybe 3 inches or so above. Good, 90 degrees. 180 degrees. $270 degrees. 360 degrees. Good, we'll roll the wings to level here. Nice. Now let's try one of those to your right. Same deal, but you have to use a little right rudder on this one. Whenever you're ready, Michael, we'll try one. Good. $90 degrees. Now, to get your private pilot's license, this is what you got to do. 360-degree turns left and right, plus or minus 100 feet. 270 degrees is there. 360 degrees is here. Nice job. And that basically completes your turn series. What do you think so far? Pretty cool?
Yeah,
You having fun?
cool, man.
All right, so we'll go ahead and lower the nose back to level flight. Look at the wingtips there. And give me a 180-degree turn back to the south, left or right, your choice. And I'm looking at you in that mirror now, and you're looking outside the airplane the majority of the time. So that's always a good sign. That basically means you're getting comfortable in this thing. Very good, and we'll level it out here. All right, now the lazy H is the next maneuver we're going to do. And so what we'll do on this next maneuver is I'm going to come on the controls with you. We're going to do one of these to the left together. I'll show you how to do it. Then I'll have you do a series of these things on your own. So here I am. We're going to lower the nose back to level flight. And if you look right ahead of the airplane, that's what level flight looks like.
Okay.
So wherever the horizon is touching the cylinder, at least it gives you a little bit of a reference now. Cool. All right, so here's how you do this. We're going to do a shallow angle of bank turn to your left, about a 10 degree. That's right there. That's all the angle of bank you're looking for. We're going to gently bring the nose up. Freeze the stick. Now listen to this thing. You can hear the airplane slowing down. Yep. Notice we're not touching, we're not moving the stick at all. And then you can hear the airplane speeding up. Listen to it. 80, 90, 95, 100. You hear it?
Yeah.
We just gently roll the wings back to level, and we're going back the other direction. So it's a 180-degree turn with a little bit of pitch involved. Did you like that?
Yeah, it was cool, man.
Okay, airplane's yours. So lower the nose back to level flight. Let's have you try one of these to your left. So shallow angle the bank. Good, bring the nose on up. Good, Mike. Hold it right there. Just so you know, you're doing all this yourself.
All
Good.
right, good deal.
Over the top, beautiful. Now, here we come downhill. Let's let it speed up. There's 80, and then there's 180 degrees. Just go ahead and roll the wings back to level. Now, that was great. That was fine. But don't be afraid to allow the airplane to accelerate downhill, going down the backside, okay? All right, so lower that nose back to level flight. Let's try one of these to your right. The only difference on this one is you're going to have to use some right rudder pedal pressure over the top. All right, there's your angle of bank. Good. Bring the nose on up. Hold that stick right there. Push on that right rudder right here. Good. Now let it speed up. Listen to it. There's 80, there's 90, there's 95, there's 100. Good. Roll it back to your left and bring it on up. Level flight. Cool. Now, here's what I want you to do. We're going to do a complete lazy 8 like we did in the new standard. Actually, we did 4 of those lazy 8 things in the new standard. I want you to make do one of these to the left, followed by one to the right. This time, no stopping in between the two. Okay? I'll talk you through it. You got this. Shallow angle of the bank. Bring the nose up. Beautiful. Hold it right there. There's 65. It's nice and slow. That's why they call it lazy. There's 60. Good. Now, let it speed up going downhill. There's 70, 75. There's 80. Good. Start rolling it to your right. And do the same thing to your right. Shallow angle of bank to your right, up you go. And now start adding that right rudder here, over the top. And downhill you fly, good. She's speeding up, 85, there's 90. We'll roll the wings back to level. And that's a lazy 8.
It's crazy, man. Absolutely crazy.
Isn't that fun?
Yeah,
It's fun because I think when people talk about flying, they talk about going from point A to point B.
Right.
You know, they don't do stuff like this. They don't do really these maneuvers, and these maneuvers are a lot of fun. Let's take a right-hand turn. We'll go back to the south. There you go. And I love that you make a turn. Yeah, and I didn't tell you what angle to use, and you crank right into a steep turn. Perfect. Good. We'll roll the wings to level here. All right, so what you've learned thus far is you've learned how to go left and right and fast, and up and down, and you've learned how to do a combination of both of those maneuvers with the lazy 8. This last thing we want to do is the slow flight and the stall, and what this does for you is it teaches you how to fly it by sound, because the idea is not to listen to, not to look at the instruments.
On the Lear, currently 60 to the field.
The idea is just to listen to it, not look at instruments. So keep the wings level as best you can. I'm going to gently bring the power back. Get rid of some of the engine sound, because obviously that's very loud. Good. Now gently lower the nose. A little bit more, a little bit more, a little bit more, a little bit more. There you go. Now, tell me when you can hear the whistle of the wind in the wire.
I can hear it, man.
All right. So right now you're going about 95, there's 100. Bring it back to level flight. Good. Now listen to it. You're starting to slow down. Good. Bring the nose up some more.
Oh my God, that's nuts.
I know. Come on back some more. So just by sound alone, she's talking, she's telling you we're going slower. Good. Bring the nose up some more. Come on back some more. It's getting pretty quiet, huh?
Very quiet.
Come on back some more. Come on back, come on back, come on. Here's your stall right here. It's going to say I can't go any slower.
Shit.
That's all right. Now watch what it does. It goes downhill. Now listen to it. And the nose comes right back up. You notice that?
Yeah.
So when you fly an airplane like this, maybe not a jet, but if you fly an airplane like this, it's really important to know what it sounds like when it goes fast, when it sounds like when it goes slow, And you always want to know what's going to do when it stalls, because let's say you're flying around, you're screwing around, and you buzz your buddy's house, and you stall it. You got to, you don't want to be afraid of it. And that's the basics of flight. That's up and down. That's left and right. That's fast and slow. That's how you fly. It's a lot easier than you thought, huh?
Yeah, it's not as bad. You got some sweaty palms.
You got sweaty palms, you put your hands outside, it dries in no time. Cool. All right, so here's the deal. I've taught you how to fly. We're at the 15-minute mark in your flight. So I always like to ask people this. After 15 minutes of flying this thing in World War II, I would expect you to solo it in between 8 and 12 hours of instruction.
Yep.
Do you think you could do it?
Yeah, I mean, I feel pretty good.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. It's not super complicated.
No, but you know why it's so easy to fly? Just let go of the stick for me for a second, and then look at me in the mirror. The reason why it's so easy to fly is because you don't have to fly it. It flies itself. You just have to tell the airplane what you want it to do, which I think is really pretty cool.
Right.
You know, it's very, very stable. It'll fly. Because we're hitting obviously a little bumps here and there.
Yeah.
But if it was like super smooth, the airplane would just go straight and level until it runs out of gas. Down in Indiana someplace. Okay, so let's try this. Are you cool with the turns?
Yeah.
All right, let's do another 360 left or right, your choice. Right now we're at about 1,500 feet. We'll see if we can make a level turn. Good, I love it. You're looking over the side. You can see your section line. There's a little fence line there, 90 degrees. Perpendicular to this road is 180 degrees. $270, 360. Cool. Let's try one of those to your right. See, flying is just like anything else. The more of it you do, the better you become at doing it, and the more comfortable you become. There you go. Good. 90 degrees. About 180. You like the steep stuff too. You're getting more comfortable. That's steeper. This is the steepest one you've done.
Crazy.
Yep. 360s here, rolling on out. All right. So here I'm gonna push it because I want you to look right beside those wires up in the front. You see right adjacent to those wires, right ahead of you. You see those struts that come out of the cockpit to go to your upper wing?
Yep.
All right. The angle that they're on right now to the horizon is 60 degrees.
Okay.
All right. So what I want you to do, we're going to go about 10 degrees steeper than what you just did. We'll do a left-hand turn first. Put that left strut up there right on the horizon. That's what your goal is. Put it right on the horizon. Goes 45, a little bit more, a little bit more. Bring the nose up. There you go. Look to your left.
Holy shit. That is...
It turns on a point, doesn't it?
That is, I don't even have words for that, man.
Let's try one to your right. If you're comfortable with that. Cool. And around you go. Good. Nice job with the rudder. Perfect job. You're a good student. You've learned. Good. So when you go this steep, you lose a lot of lift. Good. You're about to bring the nose up, feel the G-forces.
Yeah, man. Woo!
And we'll roll it on out.
That is crazy to feel like that.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm sure that's like nothing, and it kind of gives you just a taste of what a jet
Exactly.
goes through.
Exactly. Now, the cool thing about G-forces to know is the faster you go, the more G's you're going to pull.
Sure.
So this airplane here is slow, so you're not going to be pulling a lot of G's. You got to work your way into that. But those fighter pilots, they can withstand, usually people pass out at about 5 or 6 G's. Those guys, when you work your way into it, you got to be in really good shape. They can withstand upwards of about 12 to 13 G's for like a half a second without passing out. And that's a lot. That might be the difference between life and death.
Oh, yeah.
Do you like that lazy 8? Did you like that?
Yeah.
All right. Go ahead and lower the nose a little bit. Let's try another one of those. We'll do a complete lazy 8. We'll go to your left first. Shallow angle of bank. Bring it on up. There you go. Beautiful. Hold it right there. This is going to be nice. We're nice and smooth air here. Let the nose fall through. Let it speed up. There you go. Listen to it speed up. 80, 85. Start rolling it to your right. Shallow angle of bank to your right. Up you go. And push on that right rudder. Whole lot. A little bit more right rudder. A little bit more. A little bit more. Keep pushing. Keep pushing. That's almost a wing over there. Look at that. Huge. Perfect.
Jeez, man.
And there's your G's. And that's about, that might be 2 G's. Are you glad you did this? You're up there smiling. I think you are.
Absolutely, man. Absolutely.
All right, so we're going to do 2 more things. So we're going to give you the same flight experience as your dad had, all right? So let's make a left-hand turn. Tell me what you thought about that stall. Were you cool with that stall?
Yeah, I liked it. That was probably the least nerve-wracking of everything I've done
Is
so
that
far.
right? So let's try, we're going to try a power on stall. So basically it's the same thing. Let's get the wings back to level. It's the same thing that you did before, although this time we're not going to bring the power back. But what this does is this simulates what would happen if we took off from the runway and we went up too steeply. Okay?
Yep.
So, if you look out here, you can see that we're level, so your wings out here. Go ahead and bring the nose up a little bit. There you go. Good, bring the nose up a little bit more. Good. Bring the nose up a little bit more. Good, hold that stick right here. Look to your left. Look how steep you're going up.
Holy crap.
Here's your stall. So it kind of wallows around a little bit. Just hold, don't move the stick at all. Now you can roll the wings to the right. Now imagine doing that right next to the ground.
Yeah, no thanks.
Yeah, exactly. So, but it's not a big deal, but you just have to do it to say, you know what, I don't want that to happen to me low.
No.
That would suck.
Yeah.
That would ruin your day. It's not so much the first one, because you can recover from that, but you notice your natural tendency is when the airplane started to stall, you started bringing the stick back.
Right.
And if you do that low to the ground, the secondary stall will be the end of you. The first one you can probably get out of. The second one you couldn't. All right, so keep the wings level on this one. We got one more to do. This is cool. This is what it's going to sound like when we land. Now, gently lower the nose.
Approach 4150, read back correct, advise ground power to push.
Now, this is cool. Start bringing the nose up.
That's just silence, man.
Exactly. Bring the nose up some more. Tell me when you smell the exhaust fumes. Come on
I
back.
smell it.
Come on back. 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 Way back. Way back. Way back. Here's your power off stall there.
Holy crap.
Now listen to it. Listen to it. You hear the whistle?
Yes.
And look what the nose does. Right back on up. And away you go. So if I was going to teach you how to land, that would be your next lesson. We would have to do a lot of power off stalls, and I'd put some tape on your instrument, and I'd say, hey, Michael, slow this thing down, give me 80 miles an hour with it by listening to it. And then once you got that, give me 70, listen to it. There's no airspeed indicator, because when you learn how to land it, it's all sound.
Gotcha.
Look how far you've come in 22 minutes, man.
I know, man.
You definitely could fly this thing in 8 hours. All I'd have to do is teach you how to do a takeoff and landing, and we could do that in a day.
It is weird. I mean, even when you feel like it's gonna, I don't know, doing something you don't want to do it seems like you can pretty easily come back from it.
Yeah, it's very, very maneuverable, extremely maneuverable, and that's why it's such a good trainer. And it's slow, you know, it's stable.
Right.
It almost wants to be your friend, you know. It's not going to try and kill you. You got to kill yourself in this thing. It really, like talking screw up really bad. Cool. Well, whatever else you'd like to do, we have a couple more minutes. If you want to do another 360, lazy 8, we should. And right now we're flying around at 500 feet above the ground, which is kind of cool. Yeah, that's pretty cool.
I just kind of want to cruise, man.
I know. I hear you. I mean, how often do you get to fly an open cockpit plane at 500 feet above the farm fields?
I think that maybe I might take in some of that scenery I didn't take in the new standard.
Nice.
This is fantastic.
Yeah, it's one of those things you can do that I can guarantee you're never going to forget.
No.
I mean, if you fly in a Cessna, I don't want to take away from that. That's flying. Flying is always a good thing. But it's not something like this.
So do you fly this one up here too?
Yeah.
So what do you do, come up here, or come up with one and then go back down and get the other one?
Yeah, it sucks. It's because they're so slow, man. I mean, now.
What's your normal altitude that you fly at?
I like to fly low. I'm a little leery of flying, like right now we're at, what, 700 feet above the ground. I'm usually about 800 or 900 feet because the towers, there's no towers out there. There's one off your left wing, but because, you know, you can't see ahead of the airplane. So every once in a while I'll make a turn and look ahead of the airplane, and I have a chart, and it has, it's supposed to have all the towers on it, but some of the towers aren't on. But yeah, it's fun to fly around like this. But hours and hours of flying straight and level, it's like, man, and if there's a headwind, we're barely moving. It's kind of like, wow, what's the point of me flying here today?
Right.
So if you look at what's going on, look at your upper right-hand instrument. You see that needle's on 0, which basically means you're in level flight.
Right.
Look at your airspeed, 65 miles an hour.
Wow.
Look over here. You see how you're kind of sloshing through the air like this? If you lower the nose a little bit, get the wings level. There you go. You'll get a little bit more speed out of it. It's kind of like a boat in a lake.
Yeah, get up on plane.
You got to get up on the plane, exactly.
So you're looking at probably around 80 for this thing?
You lower the nose a little bit more. It'll give you a little bit more. It should give you about 85. If we were going to go to Florida together, I'd be running the power at about another 50 RPM.
Gotcha.
And right now we're going 85. So if you have a tailwind, that'd be even better. Be going faster. All right, left-hand turn. The reason why I want you to do that is because they could be landing somebody on that runway down there, and so they'd be in line for that. A little bit more to your left, a little bit more. All right, I want to show you something. Stay with me on the controls. Lazy 8. Watch, this is kind of fun. So we're getting some small. You can hear that whistle?
I hear it.
Shallow angle of the bank. We're going to be really slow and methodical with this. Just nice and slow. We listen to it slow down. Look over your left shoulder. You're going just about straight up, right? Look how slow that is.
Oh my God.
Now, we're going to listen to it speed up. Speeds up a little quicker. You're smiling up there. Now listen to it. Now there's about a G1/2. We're nice and gentle with it. And right here, little right rudder. That's about vertical.
I'm looking straight down.
And you're rolling on out. Pretty cool?
Absolutely.
Insane. And when you do that, airplane's yours, to be honest with you, there's no jeopardy, you know, because if you got it really nice and steep like that, if it was to stall, what's going to happen? The nose will fall through, right? And it speeds up going downhill.
And you just ease out of it?
Yeah, exactly.
Man.
Yeah. It's fun to fly. All right, so here's the deal. I'm going to call our friends at the tower. The tower's off our right wing. What he's going to tell you to do is to make a right-hand turn, and we'll start heading on back. So don't make it yet. Let me call him first. Kalamazoo Tower, Stearman 1. We are near East Lake, ready to come back in.
Stearman 1, Kalamazoo Tower, the left downwind runway 17.
Left downwind 17 for Stearman 1. All right, let's make a right-hand turn. I want you to head back for the airport. Actually, as you come around, you see the tower?
Yep.
Head for that tower. There you go. Good. Now, here's the deal. I had you do those boring shallow turns at first because in the pattern at 30-degree angle of bank, because in the pattern to land, that's what we're looking for.
You can ask the left base, runway 17.
Left base 17, Stearman 1. Because those 30-degree angle of bank turns are what we're looking for. Let's go a little tiny bit more to your right. You just changed us from downwind to left base. So you, right here is good. So we're looking for 30-degree angle of bank turns. The other thing is energy management or speed. You got to maintain a certain speed in the pattern because the last thing you want to do is stall it low to the ground.
Right.
Because that will be the end of you. So when you get really used to this thing, like I mentioned, you're listening to the whistle of the wind in the wires.
County 403 Golf Kilo, Captain Park, you call ready?
I did.
County 3 Golf Kilo, turn left heading 140, runway 17, clear for takeoff.
So they're letting an airplane out right now. So what we're going to do is, here's our main runway. That's the runway we took off from. So keep going straight, and then we're going to make a little bit of the left-hand turn. I want you to line up the airplane with the runway.
All right.
Stearman 1, runway 17, clear to land.
Clear 2 lands, All right, so he just cleared us to land on runway 17. You're doing great. I love it. You're looking outside the plane all the time now. So we're landing on runway 17. You can see it says 17 at the end, and the reason why it says 17 is because the magnetic heading of that runway is 170 degrees.
All right.
23 is 230 degrees.
Yep.
You know, that's to the southwest. 17 is just about due south. All right, we're a little high, so I'm going to bring the power back a little bit. Now, at this point, focus in on that whistle sound. Now you can, just like that stall you did before, you can really hear it. Good. Nice shallow turn. Super job.
Skyline 3 Papa Kilo, contact departure.
Port approach for 3 Papa Kilo.
The wild thing is, look how wide this runway is.
Yeah, it's nice.
Usually we don't have this nicety here. Good. All right, Mike, I'll tell you what, I'm going to take it from here.
You got it.
So just keep your feet on the floorboards. Now listen to this thing. We're flying down the runway. I'm going to ease the power off. Listen to it. Listen to it. You can hear it slowing down. Listen to it. We're going to keep it off the ground and run the ground. Now.
Wow.
So the hard part is not so much the touchdown. It's the keeping it straight.
Stearman 1, turn right,
Yeah, I
Bravo
can see
3,
your-
takes your SU via
Your
Bravo.
rudder's going all over the place.
Airzo on Bravo for Stearman 1. Yeah, I mean that's the big deal. Because they're really unstable on the ground. You know, if you didn't try and keep it straight, it would actually go off the runway immediately. That's why most airplanes you see today are nosewheel planes, because they're just like tricycles.
Right.
Just drive them on, they go straight. Cool, nice job.
Thank you very much.
And we'll take her back. The tower told us just to drive off this taxiway here and go right into the Airzo.
Pleasure, 4150, runway 17, taxi via Charlie.
And we'll put this thing back over where we found it. And there are our chocks. I'll make a 180-degree turn here. This is kind of our little donut thing we like to do.
Gotcha. Wow.
And that completes your World War II mission. Super
Nice.
job.